I know that people look to Lightroom as the answer for everything, including a little bit of retouching and, cloning things out and things like that, fixing the exposure and different adjustments. But as far as retouching goes, Lightroom has not been my go-to thing. It's always been Photoshop. But, Lightroom gets better and better all the time, and I just wanted to see how far I could take it with a photo of me, of my mug. And, and as embarrassing as this might be, I want to go ahead and just experiment on my face, see if we can make any improvements. I'm guessing not so much, but we're going to give it a shot. I just figured maybe using my face might be nicer than using someone else's. We're going to start here. You see this, this always happens. I get these kind of things going. And let's just start here, and we're going to see if we can make some quick fixes to these strands of hair. Now this one right here, I'm just going to use the spot here. What is this called? Is this called the spot? Yeah, spot removal. It is tool hotkey Q, at least on the PC. And let's just go back. We'll just start this one again, and I'll just start here, and I'll just swing all the way. It took me a long time to figure out that I could actually, sort of draw something other than just like hitting something with a spot. But I eventually figured out how to do that. Now this right here, see, here's the problem. When you make something that big and long, it's going to have to find something that works over some other part of the picture. It's looking for a match of the skin here, and this isn't going to work because it's looking over here, and I've got another strand of hair over here. So we're going to bring that down, and we're going to go in sections. So let's start right here and fix that, and then we'll come over here and draw another section, and then they'll just work together. Let's just go ahead and click this, and yeah, see, that's pretty good. So let's just see what it looked like before and there and after we made our adjustments. Okay, and I'm looking over here in the history panel to do that. All right, so let's go after this second strand here, and these are handles. You can see here, like you can move this around. We'll just put it back here. We're going to go after this next one, and I'm just going to make it a little smaller. I'm going to make that little selection tool a little smaller. Come down here. Not very steady with the mouse. If I had a pen, I might be a lot steadier, a lot faster. Let's go over here and get this. I have a feeling that's going to look a little weird. Let's just see. Let's just get that out of the way. And yeah, we have this little strange spot here. We're going to move it over just a little, like no, right there. Let's see if that works. Yeah, that does a pretty convincing job. All right, so then we can just actually use that as a spot remover right here. Get out of the way, please. Try again, and I'll just go like this. All right. We've also got these unattractive lines on the forehead. You may not think that they're so bad, and yours are probably fine. I just don't know if I like mine. I'm just going to go ahead and run across those like this and see if we can kind of tone them down a little bit. I'm trying to do all of this very quickly. I'm trying to prove something here. I'm trying to prove that this can be done with Lightroom, and it can be done quickly. If you just don't want to use Photoshop for something like this, then you can always use Lightroom. But again, if it were me and I was doing this in a serious way, I'd probably just stick with Photoshop. All right, so that's pretty good. Do we want this here? Let's make it challenging and see if we can remove this one too. And I'll do that. I'll just do that in one swipe and see if that works. And it worked. Okay. All right, so let's scroll down a little bit, and let's see if we can fix anything else. Again, sorry that that's the close-up can be kind of scary on old Ed's face here. I was shooting a biopic of myself, and not really. I'm not my favorite subject. All right, so what else can we do here? Let's just go straight for this baggage here. Let's go straight for the baggage. See if we can improve that. I'm going to use what is this called? This is the adjustment brush. Okay, so I can just kind of brush it along this way. Just get this whole area, It doesn't actually give me any feedback as far as when I do that, but let's just do one over here on this side and I'll show you. See, there's what it's affecting. There's really bumping the exposure up way high, bringing it down, and exposure is not the only thing we can mess with. Let's bring the contrast down a little bit. Blacks up just a little bit. Why don't we knock the clarity down a little? Soften that skin up. We just want to make sure that it doesn't, that it matches with the other skin, the surrounding skin. And we're not doing a great job of that right now. What if we bump the sharpness up? There we go. We've got some, it looks like skin now. It looks like regular skin. Let's do this side now. And we're using this, basically the same settings, and it's affecting it pretty much the same way. That looks a little odd. I'm just going to go ahead and undo that, and we're going to get, can we get a second brush? I think we can. So let's just use the second brush and cover that area and see if we can bump the exposure up a little bit, bring the contrast down. If we were doing this in Photoshop, I would just use the patch tool, and really I'd duplicate the layer so that I could have a little more control over things. But just to show you what I mean, this is a really fast way of trying to fix that little problem area. It's not perfect, but we can even improve on this one over here. And maybe we'd bring the opacity down just a little bit so it's not just crazy young Ed. It's give him a little bit of age there. But anyway, that's how I would probably approach this in Photoshop. But see, we're just talking about Lightroom, so we'll go back to Lightroom, and you know, we can only do so much. There's a few things we can do. Let's try this guy over here. All right, so let's do one more thing. I'm going to take the graduated filter and go like this and add a little light over to this side. Just turn this maybe like this, a little more natural. No, maybe half and half. And just bump up the exposure just a little bit on that side and bring this guy over here like this. And yeah, just a little brighter here on this side. Now, I want to go ahead and compare these two. So comparing the two, here's the previous one. It looks a little more sloppy. Maybe I look like I'm a little tired here, and in this one I still look a little tired, but it's a little more cleaned up. So yeah, you can see we did a minor improvement here under the eyes over here. If you look at everything from a distance, it doesn't look too bad. Put a little more contrast on this guy. While I'm here, why don't I just go ahead and give this guy a little bit of a crop. All right, there you go. Maybe a nice avatar photo, maybe not. Lightroom can definitely help you get rid of these lines and wrinkles and stray hairs and little pieces of lint and stuff on your t-shirt. Just different things like that. There's things that it can do and things that it's not so good at doing. Obviously, it can't do miracles. I got to go to Photoshop for that. So there you go. If you don't have Photoshop and you only have Lightroom, there are certain things that you can do with Lightroom to improve a portrait. And if you can't do it with the tools that are offered in Lightroom, maybe they're not sophisticated enough, or maybe it's just going to take too much time using those tools to make those kinds of improvements, consider that maybe you don't need to do all of that retouching work anyway. Some portraits look good without all of that cosmetic work applied to the face, you know. So consider laying off the retouching. I don't like to retouch photos unless I absolutely have to, like it's probably the case here. Like I said before, this is a pretty big job, so I'd probably go to Photoshop with this. But that's neither here nor there, and I'm just glad you were hanging out with me today so I could demo this for you. Hey, if you like this video, go ahead and click that like button. Let me know that you liked it. If you haven't already, make sure you click the subscribe button. Leave me a comment. You know I love to read your comments. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.